Hi, this is a quick introduction to the lab, Lab 8 for CSC231 on bash functions. So this is the last lab of the series. We'll start a totally different lab next time. So let me show you briefly what I'm having you explore today. So the first script that you're going to be playing with illustrates the different functions that bash supports, the two different syntaxes. So bash supports functions that are written with a parenthesis at the end. So here I'm declaring a function called print something, parentheses, and then I'm creating a block with curly brackets, and inside the block I have Linux commands. And here is the different function using a different syntax. So now you will have recognized that in bash there's many different ways of doing the same thing, which is sometimes troublesome. I use the keyword function, then the name of the function, and then after that the block within curly brackets is the same as for the other declaration. So I have two different functions. You can call them, and this is what I'm doing here. So interestingly, when you call the function, you don't use a parentheses. So it's print something. Just the name of the function will call the function, and it will execute whatever is inside here. And as you're seeing here, from this function, I'm going to call the other function. So, functions can call functions the same way that you're used to doing in Python or Java. So here I'm calling the function print something twice, and I'm calling the function print something else once. So if I run this, you see that I'm printing hello there, hello again. So hello there is the result of this statement, and calling print something else prints hello again. So when I call print something, which is here, I'm going to print hello there, hello again. So I'm saying hello there, hello again, which is the result of this print statement. All right. The second thing that I'm going to show you is how to pass arguments to functions. That's what you want to do if you have a function, you want to pass it arguments. In bash, when you declare a function that has arguments, you don't put anything between the parentheses. Actually, the definition of the function will not tell you really that how many parameters it will accept. What you do though inside the function, so take a look at print name, and by the way, I'm going to be using this syntax of using the keyword function before the function name to declare it. I'm going to pass to print name one argument, and when I want to access it within the function, I use $1. So $1 is a way to access the first argument. If there had been two arguments and I wanted to access the second one, I would have used $2, and so on. So you see here that these two functions, print name and print age, receive one argument, and so print name will print the first argument with hello in front of it, and print age will print the first argument, 61 in this case, with your age colon. So that's very simple for passing arguments to functions. It works very nicely. So to see how that works, I get this nice output. The function print bar that I have here just displays a bar. And so that's what I have here, and the main bulk of my script is just calling the functions 4 times and passing different arguments. All right, so that's for passing arguments to functions. How can the function return something to the main program? Let's take a look at that. That's so func3.sh is an example of a bash script that uses a function and that returns something to the caller, to the calling part. So double it will receive one argument, an integer, and it will multiply it by 2 and return that. Bash functions can only return integers, and they can only be integers that fit in a byte. So it's pretty limited, but for bash that's sufficient. So you see here that I'm using the keyword return, and in the $ parentheses, I'm computing an expression which is the first argument, which will be a number, and I'm multiplying it by 2. So I'm returning the number that is passed to the function times 2. And I have a simple loop here that makes I go through the values 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And for every time I have a new value of I, I'm going to print it, print I. Then I'm going to call the function double it. And then on the next line, I'm going to use the return value. So it's not really direct. You don't call the function and right away get the value. It is stored away by bash, and you access it using $? On the next line. So a little bizarre, but that's the way the function will return a value. So that's actually it's a little more general than what we're using here. $? Is typically the return value by whatever command was done previously. So it could be a Linux command, and typically Linux commands return 0 if they're successful, and something that is not equal to 0 if there was an error of some kind. So that's how bash can test that a program didn't work correctly until the end. So if we run this, let's take a look at func3. It will print I that goes from 1 to 5, and on the same line it's going to print twice the value of I, so 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. And why on the same line? Because I've used echo minus n when I'm printing I, so I'm staying on the same line. And this echo here continues on the same line and prints twice the value of I. Okay, let's take a look at func4. So there's nothing new here, but what I'm showing you is something a little bit more sophisticated and a construct that we haven't seen yet. So let's take a look first at what that script will do. Maybe we'll understand better what it does after we've seen what it generates. So what it will do is it will be given different extensions like ASM or SH or O or C, and it will count how many files have that extension in the current directory. So here it says there are 34 ASM files in my handout directory. There are 15 bash scripts, so that means files with a .sh extension in my directory. There are 3 files with a .o extension, and there are 0 files with a .c extension, which this will change after next lab on next week. We'll actually create C programs. So right now there's none. The problem when you have 0 files, so the ls command will generate, so let me show you that. If I say ls star C, it says ls cannot access star.c, no such file of directory. And unfortunately this message is an error message on the part of ls, and it's going to send it to standard error. So the construct that I have right here, so if you look at my function count files, it's doing an ls in the current directory. So all the files that have an extension equal to whatever the first parameter was that was given. And then 2 greater than means redirect all the standard error messages to a different file called dev/dev/null. And the ones that do not go there, count them. So pipe through WC, remember WC stands for word count. So pipe all the normal outputs to word count and count only the number of lines. Okay, so this construct says take all the standard error, the messages sent to standard error, and send them to /dev/null. /dev/null is a file that has always size 0. It will never grow in size. It contains 0, nothing. And so if you copy anything to it, then the information that you copy to it is deleted, is gone. So here, 2 greater than /dev/null is a very easy way to actually delete and get rid of all the messages that would be sent to standard error. So again, so num is going to be a variable. I'm making it equal to, using the backslash means execute the result of executing whatever is inside the backslash, which will be listing all the files with the given extensions, getting rid of messages sent to standard error so that we don't count them, pipe that to word count and count only the number of lines. So num will be the number of lines, and I'm going to return num. All right, so that's what I'm going to be doing here. So I'm calling the function. I'm saying count the number of files so that I have a .asm extension, and the return value will be printed on the next line. So again, if I look at what that does, this is the result I'm getting. Okay, what if you want to return a string? You don't want to return a number, but you want to return a string. Is it possible for a function to return a string? Well, not directly, but you can use a trick. And the trick is that if you declare a variable inside a function, for example, food here is a bash variable, and I'm setting it to chocolate if the parameter that is passed is equal to 1, or I'm setting food to liver if the parameter is equal to 2, or I'm setting food to ice cream if the parameter is equal to 3, and if it's neither 1, 2, or 3, I'm going to set it to milk. Then that variable is global. So bash, interestingly, treats all variables that are declared inside functions as global. So that means that it's visible and you can use it outside the function. So even though I'm declaring food inside the function, I can use it right here. See, that's what I'm doing. I'm echoing the value that I will take through my loop, and I'm also printing what food is, and food is going to be set by pick1, which is the function that I'm using there. So all right, so this is a very brief overview of what I'm asking you to do. So take your time, go through the lab, play with the different examples. You have different challenges. They will be available at the end of the lab at around 11:30 or 11:40. And there's a challenge to submit to Moodle at the end, and you'll have until Saturday to submit it. So have fun, good luck, bye.